In this video, we're going to use NotebookLM and Gemini Gems to produce consistent infographics according to our brand specifications. Now, whether you get the infographic that you like from Gemini or from some other source, or in some cases you may get it from NotebookLM, you want to use that infographic as the core for creating future infographics. We're going to start with a master prompt. Now, this prompt we're going to alter in order to accommodate the infographic that we like. You can use this prompt in order to go through the process that we'll be demonstrating in this video. And the reason that we can use the prompt is only because we're going to be using it to create a new prompt. What we're going to do in this case is we're going to turn on Create Images. We're then going to upload the image that we're going to use as our base. And we're now going to paste in a prompt. So we're going to paste in the prompt, and what we want the prompt to be is that these are our draft design rules to create a Sketchnote factoring Gemini Gems. And so what we want to do is we want to rewrite the rules based on this image uploaded. And we do want to make sure that we have selected Nano Banana Pro when we do this. We also want to make sure that we're using the Pro version if you have enough queries available in the Pro element. We're now going to click Enter. So what we now want to do is we want to test the feature to make sure that the images are going to be consistent. So we're going to ask the AI to create an image based on the new rules. We're going to do it with the image enabled. We're going to use the Pro version. And we just want to make sure that we have consistency between the image that we uploaded and the image that we're going to be creating before we go to the gem to hard code these rules. And so as you can see, we do have consistency. So we have consistency between this image and the image that we uploaded. So what we can now do is we can hard code the rules into our Gemini Gem. We're going to go back to our rules. We're then going to export our rules to Google Docs. Once our rules are exported, we're going to open up the doc, and we now have our Gemini Gem rules. We can now come to Google Gemini. We can now go to the Gems area. We come into the Gems area. We can now create a new gem. Once we get to the new gem area, we can give our gem a name. If you're going to be using this gem in order to give to a customer or a client, you want to be aware that they're going to see this name as well as the description. Now, in the description area, one of the ways in which you can use the description is to make sure that you give the user instructions on what they're to do first. And so even though this is the description box, we're going to use it to direct the user. So that's what we've done. We write that into the description. We're giving the user instructions instead of just describing what the gem is going to do. We now need to write instructions for the AI. And so in this case, we're going to give the AI instructions based on our master visual style, which we'll be uploading. And then we're going to give it instructions here in this area. So we're going to copy all of this information to place it into the instructions box. So we now have our instructions. Now you do have the option here of having Gemini to rewrite your instructions. That is not a default setting, and it's not something that you automatically want to have done. If for some reason your gem does not produce what you want it to produce, you can always come back, make a copy of the gem, and then in your second iteration, you can use Gemini to rewrite the instructions. But in this case, we're going to leave this prompt as it is. We then need to choose a default tool. In this particular case, we're going to choose Create Images or Nano Banana Pro. And so whenever we use the gem or the customer uses the gem, the default setting is going to be to use the image setting. What we now want to do is we want to upload our master document. And your master document should be inside of your Google Drive. So we're now going to add in the file from the Google Drive. Now we do want to make sure that this document is named the very same thing that we're mentioning here in our instructions area. So we're going to go back here to our instructions. In our instructions, we've called this document Master Visual Style. We're going to make that the title of our document. We're going to take out any extraneous information from the document. And so now our document should be consistent when we place it inside of the AI. So we go back to our knowledge area. We're going to go back to our drive. We're going to select the master visual style, and we're going to click Insert. What we're now going to do is we're now going to click Save. And our factory has now been created. We're now going to start the chat. So now what we want to do is we want to come into the gem. We want to test out the gem. Now again, if you are going to be using the gem and you have available the Pro version, you want to use it. And to add that to the instructions for the customer also, we're going to select Pro. And what we're now going to do is we're going to click Enter. And we're going to allow the Sketchnote factory to produce our infographic. As you can see, we do achieve consistency. And you can achieve more consistency by adding more specifics into the document, but this is very close to our previous images. This was our original image, which we used in order to create the rules. And this was our test image here in this area. And for this concept to work, you don't have to be married to the Sketchnote format. The process is about consistency to the kind of image you want to create over and over again using Google Gemini. So you can start with the infographic from any place. You're looking at an infographic from NotebookLM. We can go to that infographic. We can download that infographic to our hard drive. So we're going to do, again, we're going to go back to Create Images. I'm going to select the Pro version. We're going to upload the infographic now that we like, which we have downloaded from NotebookLM. We're now going to paste in our prompt. We're asking the AI to rewrite our instructions. We're going to de-emphasize Sketchnotes here in this area. And so we're just going to tell the AI to rewrite the rules, and we want to be specific. We're not going to be doing a Sketchnote when it rewrites the rules. We're now going to click Enter to allow Gemini to rewrite the rules. So we now have our new rules. What we want to do is we want to export those rules to a Google Doc. We want to test out the new rules. So we're now going to ask for the AI to use the rules to create a new image. We're going to click Enter. And we are able to achieve consistency. You can see our original image that we downloaded from NotebookLM, and then the image created by our new rules. And we're also going to need to rewrite the instructions for the gem. So we're going to paste in that set of instructions. And what we want to do is we want to now rewrite the rules for the gem before we go to the gem in order to recreate it. We're now going to export those new rules to a Google Doc. We're going to come into our gem manager. Right? We're going to give instructions to the user of the gem. This time we're going to suggest that the Pro tool, if possible, and this may be an instruction you want to write into that description area. We're now going to come into the instructions area. We're going to copy in the instructions, and we're going to paste them into the gem. What we can now do is we're going to select the default tool. The default tool is going to be Create Images. We're now going to grab our image file, and that's going to be the new style document that we just created. The instructions refer to the master visual style. We're going to go to our document. We're going to make sure that it is called master visual style. We're now going to go to the knowledge area. We're going to add in from the drive. We're going to select our document and insert it. Our document is now inserted. We can now save our new gem. And our new gem has been created. And our new gem is ready. And as you can see, the instruction, if we're going to share the gem with a client, we can do that. What we can now do is we can test out our gem. So we now have our concept. We're going to select the Pro version, and we're now going to click Enter. And we can achieve consistency. You can see our image from NotebookLM. You can see our image from the test. So you can start with any image in order to program the gem to produce a similar image and to do it consistently with a master document regardless of style. Okay, so thanks, and I will see you in another video.